guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for a bit of a play really. I have been having my favourite stamps beside me in a box for a few weeks now, and I'm quite enjoying having them there. And when I sorted out some of my favourite stamps, I kept the packaging just in case I didn't like them. You know, just being loose in the box so that I could always put them back in the packaging. However, I have decided that I do quite like them there. So I thought what I would do is come along and use the cards from some of the stamps. So I've just bought a few along just to get started, because no point being over ambitious. I'm sure 4 probably is quite ambitious anyway for a video. So yeah, what I'm going to do is just make some journaling cards or some pieces or something from the, you know, the packaging itself. So obviously this is cardish, you know, well, I mean, it is card, but it's not obviously really thick card, if you see what I mean. So, you know, that's quite ideal for obviously journal card bases. So I think what I'm going to do is, in the first case, I'm going to just cut the pieces out. Now, as you can see, it's got the image of the stamp itself, but it's backed onto this lovely postmark backing, I guess. So I'm just going to cut round, but I'm going to leave a border where that lovely postmark kind of image is. So I'm just going to cut it down like that. I want it to be slightly rectangular. I might leave that border on the bottom because, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. We could always cover that up with a strip of lace or something else. So let's just trim that down a bit because I didn't make a very good job of cutting that. Okay, right, I'm just going to move the book that I've brought along to the side because I might or might not use that book. And all I'm going to do now is just kind of back these onto some coffee dyed paper. So, excuse me if I've gone a bit muffled. I'm just reaching under my desk to get the coffee dyed paper. Okay. I mean, obviously these are sort of cardish. So, I mean, to be honest, you know, lots of people would probably consider these thick enough. Obviously, as you can see, they're a little bit marked from kind of glue and things like that. So that's one reason why I'm backing them. But another reason, you know, I do really like a really thick journaling card. So I don't know why, but for me, I just think, or to me, if they're just this kind of thickness of just the card, it feels a little bit kind of cheaty. Feels like I haven't really done much to actually form the journaling card. So yeah, I quite like to back them, and then I've got something that feels like, you know, like I've made it, I suppose. So let's just decide which way I want the card. So I'm going to put it like this onto the back or onto the coffee dyed paper. So just spread that down like that. And I mean, obviously, you know, you could use anything really for this. I mean, if you've got some magazines or anything with these kinds of images, you could do that in place of these stamp, you know, background packets. You know, just wherever you can get things really. So just trim this down like that. So I might as well do them all while I'm here because that will save probably a bit of time. Now, thinking, do I want this definitely in the middle? Because obviously this image I've got more or less in the middle. Just wondering whether this one might be nice kind of to the side. So I'm going to cut this one down, oops, a bit over like that, so that those birds are more sideways on this card. And again, just trim it down like that. Okay. And then I've got this one, which obviously this has got the 4 butterflies. So, I mean, this would be very tricky to actually, you know, have it off center, I think. The only thing is, obviously, because it's got the 4, it's going to be quite a wide journaling card. So might save this one, come back to that. This one definitely we can just cut this down again. Do we want it center or sideways? Might have it sideways again. Quite like them on the side, weirdly. Don't know why, but for some reason they just seem to be calling me to be sideways. So just trim that down like that. Okay, right. So we've gone from 4 to 3 now, because I'm just not quite sure about that butterfly one. I think perhaps I could do something a little bit more you know, a little bit different with that one. So, or, you know, something else with that one. Using the 4 individual squares really, rather than a base for the journaling card, I think. So we'll just glue this one down. Just nice covering of glue all around. I'm just going to pop that down there. Again, just spread that with my glue spreader. Okie dokie. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you're managing to get some crafting done. Oh, it's a really drab day here, and weirdly, literally, I've just been finishing off a journal and I thought, right, I'm going to come on and do a video. And literally as I thought that, the day just literally greyed over and this big black cloud came across. So, yeah, I apologise if it's a little bit dark. It wasn't dark until I thought, right, I'm going to do a video. And then, lo and behold, it just clouded right over. So, it's annoying. Okie dokie. Okay. There we go. Just stick this one down as well. Okay, right. Let's just glue that one down. And I mean, obviously, you know, technically these are just my stamped images. You know, so they're not kind of anything all that amazing, if you see what I mean, because if you've got these stamps you could produce this anyway. It's just really that, you know, they're the packaging, they're, you know, perfectly stamped because obviously they're printed, and you know, it now is going to get them out of my way. I mean, not that they were in my way, but you know what I mean. Okay, so that's my 3 bases for my journaling cards. So I'm going to, I was going to ink them up, but actually I think I'm going to go and stitch them on the sewing machine. So I'm just going to stitch around the edges. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine. So all I'm going to do now, I think, is just distress ink around the cards so they're not so stark white. I stitched them in black, as you can see. Hopefully they're going to look, you know, super pretty once they're done. So that's that one. I'll just go around this. Like that. And as I say, I'm not too worried about that text on the bottom because hopefully I'm going to just cover that up. So it's, you know, it's not too bad. Or hopefully it's not going to be too bad. So there we go. Just inking that up. Okie dokie. Right. So I'm going to start with this one with these birds. Now, these birds are probably, you know, well, of course, they're a variety of bird. Unfortunately, my bird knowledge is not great. So I have no idea what, you know, what variety of bird these birds are. But what I thought I'd do is just bring along my little brush, and I'm just going to just dab it on to one of the parts that I've cut off, just to make sure if I paint it on, it's not going to be smudgy. Because this card is very, very slightly shiny, you know, hardly at all, but just very, very slightly. So I just want to make sure, you know, that it would stay on if I paste it on. Okay, so touch wood, it does look like it does. So I might just pick up a little bit of the birds in some brown. Oh my gosh, not great with painting, to be honest. So as I'm sure you can probably see, now I've gone over the edge slightly here. Okay, perhaps do a bit on his wing, perhaps his body as well. Maybe do a little bit on their heads. And just round the edge of their bodies. And then I'm just going to fill the middle in with, I don't know what colour actually. As I say, these I'm sure are a particular bird that I'm just too ignorant to know what that bird is. I mean, I kind of think possibly they could even be a robin, but yeah, I'm not really too sure, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not going to do them in red because they may not be a robin. So I think I'm going to do them in Oops, if I can find my yellow. I'm going to give them a little bit of yellow, I think. So just pop those down there. And what are those birds with sort of yellowy blue? I don't know what they are. Oh, this is just terrible. My bird knowledge is just pretty awful, I have to say. So, okay, let's just dab that off on my wipe. Okay, let's just see what this beautiful yellow looks like. Oh, now my brush is obviously wet, so it's kind of coming out a little bit different on here, but okay, it's quite bright. I wonder if I could kind of dab it up a little bit once I've painted it. That's a bit better, isn't it? So I'll just rub that and see whether... Okay, so it is still on there. So I think what I'm going to do is just go into their tummies a little bit with the yellow. Like that. And then I'm just going to kind of dab it off. This is a wet wipe. So, you know, it is actually kind of dabbing off on there. And actually now this has kind of faded to, you know, so it doesn't really need dabbing off with the wipe. So let's just do a bit more. Just to tone it down slightly. Okay. Right, I went over that then, so now it is of course bright, so there we go. Right, tone it down. Okay, and do we want some other colour there? I've also brought in my broken china. So obviously the brown was just my vintage photo, and then I've got fossilised amber, and then this is broken china. So again, who knows, this might just look appalling, but let's give it a try. So again, just kind of trying to get some of that off so it's not too bright. Oops, it's not really showing at all now. Don't know about not too bright. I want it to show a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's not really showing, to be honest. Okay. Well, I'll just do it on these, although it's not really showing, just in case it does show. I want them all to look sort of similar. So okay, just dab that off a bit. It's only a matter of time, wasn't it, before I started dipping my fingers in, really. But yeah, I was trying to be good and not do that, but just can't really help myself. Okay, right, let me wipe up my brush now. Okie dokie. So that looks really pretty now. Might go around the edge a little bit with some of that broken china because it would just kind of lift them a little bit, I think. So let me just get my blue blendy tool. I'm just going to go around just in the edges. I think I've said, but recently I, you know, bought some new ink pads. I had received some in Happy Mail, you know, so kindly sent to me. And it kind of spurred me on, really, because I thought, actually, it's such fun to add colour, obviously, into your projects. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying having kind of a multitude of colours now, because it does make things, you know, a lot more fun to do, I think. Now, I'm just wondering whether I need to go into the background and paint the background, yeah, possibly vintage photo, because that's also looking quite white. Let's just have a look. So again, I'm just going to bring in one of those pieces. Okay. Like that. I mean, actually, it's quite nice working on this card for a change because it is quite slidey, you know, so it's, yeah, it's quite nice to work on something with a little bit of a sheen, because I don't generally, you know, I don't sort of work on paper with a sheen, really. Okay. Oh, doesn't that look so pretty? so cute. I hope that the camera's like picking that up. Let me just pick it up and show you. Looks gorgeous, doesn't it? You know, and I've barely done anything to that so far. So I'm just now having a look to see what I might have beside me in the way of things to, you know, decorate it with. Just seeing whether I've got some pretty flowers or anything. I have got this pink rose. Oh, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Let me just see. I mean, obviously I reached into there thinking blue flowers because of my matchy thing. So yeah, I was kind of looking for blue really. But I might be better off kind of having a contrast. I'm not sure. Let's just try the blue on there. Oh, no, I'm not sure. Oh, decisions. I like them both. I don't know which I prefer. Let me stand up and have a look down on it. Honestly, the times I do this and I think, oh, I shouldn't have tried them both out, because then of course I'm torn between which one I like best. Let's go for that. I've got some of my numbers, so I might just put a little number on there. So we'll go for just a black number, I think. Oh, that's really nice, kind of contrasty, really nice. So let's just pop that on there. I think over there. And then I'm thinking maybe a postmark stamp might look quite nice on there. So let me just grab my postmark stamp in. Yeah, I think kind of across everything. So, and then of course down the bottom I will just put some lace on to cover up where I've got that text, I think. So yeah, I quite like that. Let me just see whether I've got any other lace to hand, you know, that would maybe look good. Got this brown. It's quite nice. Oh, again, I'm not too sure. So, right, let's just get this one down first. I'm just going to, again, ink into it a little bit so it's not so white. And then I'm just going to glue that on. Okay. And then I'm just going to ink around these flowers a little bit. Just have those there. And I'm just wondering whether I could have one of my little road names. That's quite nice, isn't it? Because otherwise it's quite plain, to be honest. So let's just try this one. It's getting darker and darker. It's obviously literally about to chuck it down with rain. It's so annoying because you think, oh, I'm just going to come along and do a video. And as I say, it's been, you know, quite bright all day. It's now such a drab day. It's, yeah, annoying. Okay, yeah, I'm going to have that there. I'm going to have to move it over slightly, otherwise I've covered up the L of the road name, but... Okie doke. Okay, press those down. So that looks pretty, doesn't it? Let me just have a look and see what other lace that I've got handy, because I might prefer something different on there. So let me just quickly have a bit of a rummage through. Right, I've got some kind of blues here that might be better. Let's have a look. I've got this blue, not really right, is it? Got this dark blue, no, that's not right either. Got this gorgeous blue. I do quite like that. Let me just pull in that ivory again. Oh gosh, this is tough to decide, I must say, because I'm liking the blue and I like the ivory too. I think I do prefer the ivory. I think the ivory has just literally swung it, so again, just going to be super quick and hot glue that down. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so how pretty is that? And that's just from that lovely packaging. I mean, obviously it helped because the packaging itself was very pretty. But, you know, that's just from that, and it just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So I'm just going to put a bit of bling on. Do you know, I literally feel like it's got even darker since I said about it being dark. It's got even darker still. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just finish it off with that bit of bling. Okay. There we go. How gorgeous is that? So that's our first journaling card. I'm going to put that down behind me, and then obviously I bring them all in at the end. So let's do the next one. Now, which of these two shall we do? Can't decide. Perhaps we'll do the, I don't know whether that's a bit steampunky with the butterfly. I feel like it's quite steampunkish. I think because it's got all that sort of machinery looking cogs and wheels and what have you in the background. To me, it just looks quite steampunky. So let's have a look. Now, I wonder whether I should colour anything on this one. I don't know. Right, let me pull in my butterflies. Just see whether we might like a butterfly on there. So, oops, not that one. Well, not either of those. I'm putting that the other side so the shadow isn't kind of being picked up. Obviously the window's kind of up behind me, which I realise is casting a little bit of a shadow. So, right, I quite like just the brown, I think. Looks really nice. And again, we might just brighten this up with just kind of a flower or something. Maybe. Now, if I have that, would we... Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't stamp a postmark across that other journaling card, so let me just do that quickly. Just get my stays on the black one. Okay. There we go. Just finishes that off really nicely, doesn't it? So, right, okay. Let's get back to what we were doing. So we'll just ink this flower a little bit, just because it's got one or two sort of white bits showing. And we'll just like that. Now, do you know what? I'm wondering whether we could have, you know, the bright coloured numbers that I've got. And I bet I haven't got any printed out now. Honestly, you can just have everything that you know, that you can possibly imagine. And then you probably still haven't got the one thing that you would quite like to have. It's just typical, isn't it? Yeah, I can't see any of those gorgeous bright greeny numbers. I have got this big number here. Oops, I've got a Brad now floating around. That's quite nice, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to have to go with it like that, I think. Now, trying to think how to incorporate some more of that pink. Don't know whether I've got anything. Let me just have a look again. Let's have a look through my lovely new colours again. So bring those down. Okay, I've got this green, which could well pick up the gorgeous green of the leaves. I know it's obviously it's quite bright, but it might just look okay. So let's just have a look. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so this is not one of my new colours, but this is a colour I've had for a long time. But I don't very often get the chance to use it. So this might be a nice opportunity to have a bit of a play with this one. Okay, so again, I'm just going to bring in that card just so as I can see, because I mean, obviously it's quite a bright one. So I don't want, you know, it looking really, really awful. Oops, I wonder if that's the wet part of that card, because this one doesn't seem to want to paint on so well. No. Perhaps my brush is still a bit wet from the last, you know, where I wiped it on the wipe. Let me just dab it off onto some book page, because otherwise it's not really working brilliantly. It might just be it's a little bit wet still where I used the wipe. Okay. Oh well, that will do, that will do. Right, so I'm going to just, I think, pick up just a little bit in this corner. And maybe just a little bit down here. Maybe just a little bit here as well. Just to bring in sort of a little tiny bit of pink. And then let's glue this down. Okay. Because my butterfly is going to kind of sit over that, so like that. And then I might just do a little bit of pink here. I know this butterfly is not really going to show, but you know, just so if it does, then it's got the pink on that butterfly as well. Like that. Then I'm going to have this here, like that. Okay. Yeah, quite like that. And then I want to pull in some more pink from somewhere, so I'm not quite sure how to do that. Let's just have a look and see. Got an actual pink flower. Might look a bit weird, but I'm not so keen on these daisy type flowers. They're, you know, to me they don't feel very vintage, to be honest. I have no idea why. You know, what makes them not vintage. I mean, really, a flower's a flower, but I don't like those kind of pointy, you know, pointy edges. So let's just cut this one down. Just wondering whether we could have that there. And then I've got some little pink pearly bits. So again, let me just have a bit of a look through my little container that's just sat here. Oh gosh. Hang on. And I know that I've got the pink bits in here because I put them in there. Now I can't find them. Okay. So I'm wondering if we could have like a pink centre for that flower. Oh, I'm not sure about that. Looks a bit strange, doesn't it? Maybe the butterfly is not the right butterfly after all. Let me pull my butterflies back in. Just have another quick look through them. Oh, I've got that one. Because I'm thinking maybe a pink one would be better. Oh, it's not quite the right size and shape. No, definitely not the size and shape I need. Did I try this one at the beginning? I can't remember now. Like we say, I mean, you can have all the bits in the world, but, you know, often just still don't have quite the right thing. So I've got that one that's lilac. Let me just have a look if I ink around that a bit to sort of tone down the lilac. Don't think any ink really came off on there. Right, it was all going so well, and now here I am on the second card, completely at a block now. You see, that one then doesn't really stand out necessarily that much. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. Okay. So I'm wondering if we could have that there. Maybe just a little bit of pink. And then let's just put a bit of pink in here. Okay. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just put a bit of pink in here. So let's just That looks quite pretty, doesn't it? I'm just worried it's not really standing out quite as much as I'd hoped, but it maybe is. Maybe it is. Maybe I need a different number. Perhaps that's what's kind of just throwing me off slightly. So let's just bring in another black one. Because a lot of it's very black, isn't it, on the card? So maybe it needs black instead of that brown one. See, I quite liked the contrast, really, of that one. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, can't decide, can't decide, can't decide. Maybe this is another one that I should really just leave and come back to you a bit later, but obviously I'm kind of here now, so let's just try and do it. I don't think that's right, really, that butterfly. And strangely, this particular stamp I've had for years and years, and actually I struggle when I use this stamp. I really loved it when I bought it, and weirdly I'd wanted it for ages, and then I finally bought it, and it's just been one of those stamps that I've not really used a great deal, which is weird because actually I normally use all of those crafty individual stamps all the time. I think for me this is a bit too steampunky for my tastes. So I just struggle a little bit. Right, I'm going to stick this down with the Fabri-Tac because I've only got 2 little Diamantes there, so I think, oops, I think I might be being a bit ambitious trying to do that with my hot glue. Oh my gosh, I think I was quite ambitious trying to do it with my Fabri-Tac by the looks of things. Oh my gosh, no. Oops, now it's just stuck on me, not on the paper at all. There we go. Okay, right. Oh, now the number's stuck on me. Oh dear. Right. Let's have a look and see whether I've got any other things to do on this card. I just don't know. It's just quite interesting how it's just not working for me, given that I do struggle with that stamp as well. That's just really strange. Right, I've got another flower. Oops. Teeny one, just torn out. I just wonder whether I could kind of pop that up there. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, let's go for that. Okay, got there eventually. Okay. Oh, now I'm having glue problems. This is now turning into one of those videos. Do you know, I was just, honestly, I was thinking earlier, oh, my glue's doing really well, this bottle. It's, you know, it's not played up once. And I've used it, you know, lots of times so far. And you should just never think that, should you? Because, of course, now I've thought that, it's now mucking about and playing up. Okay, so let's just pop this flower in the background. Yay. Okay, so I like how that looks. And obviously I just want to put something along here because I just want to cover up that, you know, text at the bottom. So again, I might just use just sort of some ivory lace. Again, now wondering about the lace, my gosh. Let's have a look here. I've got this lace instead. Oh, that's, yeah, that's a bit better. For some reason, that crochet lace wasn't really kind of going too great on this, which is weird because that crochet lace goes with every single thing. But not this. This one does. Yeah, okay. So I've just, you know, slimmed that lace down by just trimming it down a little bit. So we will just then glue that down along there. Just use my Fabri-Tac. Okay, and then just, oops, that's not a dry wipe, it's a wet one. So just dab that off with my hands. I need to get one of my wipes from the door. So I'll just dab it off on my hands instead for the time being. Okay, so that looks really pretty. And then, shall I just have a little bit of bling down there as well? Now, do we like it in that corner, or is that too diagonal then? Everything's lined up on a sort of diagonal line. Is it better being on this because it's balancing it out? Weirdly, I would normally say yes, because I don't like that kind of whole diagonal line thing, but strangely on this one, I actually think it looks better on the left. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's that one done now. My gosh, that took a long time getting to grips with that one, didn't it? So I've just put that one down behind me. So the final one, I just move my ink pads out of the way, and I'm just going to move all of these flowers now that I just got out of my little organizer that's on my desk. Oops. Okay, let's get these flowers back into the organizer. I love just having them there to be able to grab some in. It's really handy. Because I want to just show you this gorgeous book. So I managed to pick this book up, and it was actually several weeks ago. And this is the first time that I've kind of had to play with it. But I just want to share it with you. And I did look online, and it seems to be very mixed prices. Some people seem to have it for like £20, which of course, you know, is nowhere near anything like, you know, I didn't pay anything like that. But a lot of websites also, or Abe Books over here, ABE Books, had quite a few copies for £3 something, and I think that was with free delivery. So I just wanted to share this book with you because it's probably one of the nicest bird books I've seen. It's by James Fisher, but it has got the most gorgeous pictures and images. So, I mean, look at those of the swans. Isn't that just beautiful? I mean, the thing is, they are quite big pictures, but equally the birds are quite separate on a lot of the pages. So, you know, rather than having to use that entire image, you could just fussy cut, you know, one or two of the birds. I mean, they're just absolutely lovely, aren't they? So you've got lots of ducks and things. I'll just, you know, skip ahead really. So you've got then some birds of prey and things like that. And then we come on to these pictures here. So I don't know really what you would kind of describe these birds as, but to me they look kind of a little bit more delicate kind of looking. Oh, not that one. But look at this gorgeous page, for instance. And loads and loads of absolutely gorgeous birds. Aren't they just lovely? So pretty. So, you know, I just thought I would share this book with you because they're probably some of the nicest bird images that I've seen, to be honest. You know, and you've really got a good variety of size. I mean, these ones here, for instance, they're really nice and tiny. And again, you could easily use them in individual elements rather than having the whole image. But equally, you have got lots with pretty backgrounds as well, if you wanted to kind of take the whole image. You know, which is nice to have that variety. I mean, look at this beautiful page here. Just lovely, isn't it? So, yeah, I thought I would quickly pull this book in and kind of share it with you because, yeah, I've had it for several weeks and I thought, oh, you know, let's just quickly share this. Right, so I've opened it up at this page here, which is plate 60. I'm just going to tear this page out because I'm hoping that one of these little birds would look really nice on here. So I'm thinking this one here. Now, I was going to fussy cut him, but I actually would quite like to have those pink flowers as well. So I'm just going to kind of fussy tear around him. I'm going to just tear him off the page so he's a bit easier to handle. Okay. So, I mean, he's quite big. You know, even though he's one of the smaller birds, if you see what I mean. But having said that, you know, these are quite small. So, you know, he's not monstrous or anything like that. But Isn't that just such a lovely image? So I'm thinking that would look really nice just on this page, to be honest. So I'm just going to ink around the edge. Now, shall I ink him? Oh, again, I'm dabbling with this pink, and considering I had not much success with it last time, I don't know really why I'm dabbling with it again. Oh well, let's be brave. So just got this ink pad, which I've been using red on. So I'm just going to go to the other side and hopefully just pick up pink. So, okay. Okie dokie. I think I overdid it here, to be honest, so I'm just going to get rid of a little bit of that. It's very pink otherwise, so just kind of, I might just go in again and kind of redo that piece. So, oh gosh, I'll be tearing into the bird itself in a minute, and I'll have no bird left. He'll be just like a weird shape. There we go. So yeah, pretty. Right, let me put the tool away, my blending tool. Okay, so I'm thinking now possibly something like a pink postage stamp in the background might look quite good. So I've got my postage stamps in the little, you know, jars, sort of colour separated. I like having them colour separated because, yeah, I think it kind of works quite well. Now that's quite a good colour. Yeah, that's quite a good colour. I was actually thinking a lot pinker, you know, a lot, excuse me, let me just go and have a drink of water. Sorry about that, I just had a sudden like frog in my throat. So, right, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of my little kind of beigey colour numbers, because that's going to pick up the nice colour of the bird there, I think. So just trim that down. Okay. And actually, I'm not sure I want that up there. I might have it down here. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? So I'm just going to pop the postage stamp down. Yeah, I was actually intending on a much pinker stamp, you know, much brighter. But actually this one's just the perfect colour. It's not too bright, it's just, yeah, well, just right. Literally just right. So, oh, come on, come on. Oh, this is just so typical, honestly. I've had this glue open for ages and it's just been brilliant. And now literally today it's decided to just let me down. So how very annoying. Okie doke. Okay. Right. Let's pop the bird down there. Ah, you know what? I should have got my dry wipe, shouldn't I? A dry wipe while I was clearing my throat, and I just totally forgot. Just moving that stamp up a little bit so you can see it a bit more, because otherwise it was just completely hidden down there. I'm going to have a little number here, or maybe here. I'm going to have it over there. Okay. And then I've got this gorgeous lace, which I'm sure was lace that I got in Happy Mail. Isn't it just so beautiful? It's really pretty, isn't it? And again, that's just picking up the kind of biscuity colours that are in the bird and in the, you know, the tree, the log that he's kind of sat on. So just going to go with that down here. I did pick that up whilst I was clearing my throat, just because I was putting that blue lace away. So whilst I put that away, I spotted this and thought, ooh, that's going to be a really good colour on here. So yeah, there we go. Really pretty, isn't it? Now I'm just wondering whether I could have that. Oh, that's probably a little bit weird. Oh, that's quite nice, actually. Yeah, might just have that little pearl just on its own there. Just pop that down there, like that. Again, could postmark this. I don't know really whether it needs it. Oh, but I do like it with that butterfly there, I must say. So, I mean, although that butterfly is kind of monstrous, it's as big as the bird. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not really worried about proportion and things looking real, yeah, I think it looks really nice on there. And just really pretty because it's kind of like got quite an empty top to that card, but lots of stuff going on down here at the bottom. So yeah, okay, let's just bring in the 3 that we've done, or the other two that we've done. So that's the ones that we have done. Obviously I've still got the other one there with the butterflies, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use these for, but I'm thinking actually they quite lend themselves to maybe paper clips. Yeah, let's just put these to one side for a moment, and let's just, well, actually I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just cut it down the centre. So I'll just take these 2 first. Okay, cut these 2 individually, and then the other 2 I might make into a sort of tall or long tag. So let's just take that one down, that one, oops, okay, right. Okay. And then I'm just going to ink these 2 up. Now again, what I might do is actually back these onto some fabric. I'm just having a look. I've got some velvet fabric somewhere. Pretty sure it's here on my desk. So let me just find that. Oh, actually, I might have some in my little bag that just hangs on my, to the side of me. There we go. I've got this gorgeous midnight blue type colour. It's really pretty, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm just seeing what we might do with this. So, okay. So let's just ink up in the first place. Ink this up with the vintage photo. Quite dark. I want it, you know, to look quite sort of grungy and vintage looking. And then, oh gosh, I'm now again going for more coloured inks. Really loving using the coloured inks at the moment. So okay, so this is Faded Jeans. Now I've had this in my stash for a really long time, but hopefully I think this might be quite nice on here. So again, let me just dry this off a little bit. Okay. Should I test it out? I probably should, shouldn't I? So, okay. Yeah, again, it's kind of a bit wet really from the wipe, but hopefully the more I use it, the more that's going to dry out. So, just going to paint that butterfly a little bit. Okay, and then perhaps we'll do this a bit more brown. Wonder if I need to go over this a little bit with some brown. Otherwise it's quite a bright, well, weirdly enough, actually it's not quite bright normally, which is why I haven't used it very often, the Faded Jeans, but on here, of course, it suddenly looks very bright. Right, let me just dab that off. Okay, so I might go around that again because I do want it looking quite dark and quite grungy, I think. So yeah. Okay, so I quite like that. And then I might just layer that onto a bit of book page, I think. So we'll just glue that down. Just onto that, oops, onto there. I'm just going to trim that out. Okie dokie, and then I might just have to stitch that, but I'm wondering whether I should stitch it straight onto the fabric. So if I do that, what I want to do first is just rough my book edges up a little bit, because at the moment they're, you know, they're a little bit kind of like I've just cut them, which of course I have. So we'll just get them looking a bit more rusticy. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty. And actually, before I go to the sewing machine, I'm just going to take my Stains by Patty Pockets, and I'm just going to paint that onto this one. Okay, just to give it a little bit of colour. Okay, I love this Stains, it's really, really great. Which actually, now I'm thinking perhaps I should do it over this one as well. Perhaps I should. There we go. Obviously now I just need to wait for a few minutes for these to dry, but that's now really, really yummy and vintage looking, isn't it? So perhaps I'll just go over this a bit more. And then I will, you know, distress ink this as well. Okay. Okay, so I might go off and dry those with my heat tool so that we're a little bit quicker rather than just having to wait around all day. Actually, just before I do that, I know I keep on saying, oh, just before I do this, just before I do that, but just going to move these off to one side. Oops, like that. Just whilst they're drying. And I think what I'm going to do is paste all of this as well. So I'm just going to paint this because I'm going to have this as a longish tag, I think. So again, just go around the whole thing. Not really up here because I would probably be cutting that off, but just go around the rest. Okay. I've tried to do quite a thick coat because I want it to look quite grungy once it's done. So I'm just going to dry those bits off. Okay, I'm back. So these are dry now. Whoops, I'm sticking my book page to the desk, which is not great. And what I'm going to do is just pop these down on here, and then I'm going to take them to the sewing machine to stitch around them. So I'm just going to glue them on with some Fabri-Tac so that they stay in place. Actually, I want that probably a bit further over, like that. And then this one will have to go, yep, there. So again, just kind of go around there. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? I totally forgot to actually layer that on some book page. Well, it doesn't matter too much, but yeah, obviously in an ideal world I would have layered them both. So yeah, I just totally forgot. Okay, just cut around that with my pinking shears. Okay, a bit more, and then round that one. Well, literally in the time it took to dry these. The sun's now come out. It's really quite warm in the house. I don't say it's necessarily warm outside, but it's very strange today. Okay, so I'm going to stitch these on the sewing machine. I have to say, I really love the look so much with the Patty Pocket stains that I may have to stain these as well, to be honest. Kind of wish that I had now, because don't they look very white in comparison? So I might leave this one because, you know, well, it might be quite tricky to do apart from anything else. So this one I might just stains the birds section. So let me just grab my stains back in just before I go to the sewing machine. And just going to go round the birds if I can. Like that. Yeah, they look nicer like that, don't they? Might just do my number as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to one side to dry. Let's hope I don't forget and touch it when I come back from the sewing machine. And then this one, again, I'm thinking I might just do, yeah, might just do this inside section. So just trying to avoid other bits. So I can go over that flower because obviously that's kind of part of the inside section. Oops. Just pull my butterfly up. Oh no. Okay. And then just go over there like that. And then I'll just go to the bottom and just pull the butterfly up from the bottom as well. And just stains around the bottom as well there. Okay. Oops. Now putting my hands all in it. Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry as well. I'm actually wondering whether I should go around the entire thing. Yeah, I think this one would benefit from everything. So I'll just go around the edge as well. There we go. Might just do in there a bit. Okay, right. So I'm going to take those bits to the sewing machine and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back from the sewing machine. I'm just going to grab a couple of paper clips from my little container. Okay, just grabbed the, you know, regular size clips there. And then I'm just going to grab something thickish, kind of sort of card. Anything will do. So let's just see what I've got floating around on my desk because I'm bound to have something. Oh, she says. I mean, it's just typical, isn't it? Whenever you kind of think, oh, you know, I'll just quickly grab something, it's just not there. Right, let me just bring in my scraps bin. Okay, so I've got this card. This is just some scrapbook paper I probably won't really use. So I'm just going to cut this down to form two, well, I was going to say squares, but clearly they're not really squares, are they? Okay, and I'm just going to pop that down like that. So I just want to make sure that that's going to fit on here nicely. Now I could have it as a sideways on paper clip. I think I'm going to do that actually. I seem to often be making, you know, over paper clips lately, and you know, then you don't sort of have any sideways ones, so it's good to have a variety of, you know, sideways and, you know, top loading kind of ones as well. So okay, press that down, and that obviously is going to give this a sturdier, you know, sturdier base there as well. So okay, and then going to just finish that off with maybe a little bit of lace, of course. It's quite big on there. Oh, that's quite nice. Just going to check that I wouldn't prefer the crochet. See, I do love that crochet lace, I must say. I also have this brown lace, which kind of brought this along because I thought actually the brown might be quite nice as a sort of contrast, but yeah, maybe I should just not be too bold and just stick with the more obvious choice, or the safer choice. So I'm just going to then have that here, I think, kind of dangling off. Might even have it a bit sort of jaunty angle. And it doesn't really matter which side, does it, to be honest, but okay, and just press that down. So really pretty. And then I'm going to just take some bling, which I thought I had some still laying around. Oh, I've only got a piece with 2 that's already been cut, so I'll have to cut some more. Let's just check. Oh yeah, that looks pretty in that butterfly, doesn't it? So I'm just going to put the bling down in the center of the butterfly. Like that. Really, really pretty. And just before I stick bling down, I'm just going to see whether I might prefer to have a word on there. What's this word? Just having a look. I could do with printing off some more words. So I got happy, which I know that's a little bit strange with that butterfly, but that does look pretty, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to go for a word, I think. So just pop that down on the lace. Okie dokie. So that's the first one. And then the next one, again, we're just going to do exactly the same. Again, I might just make another sideways on, but I might do this one from the other side if I remember, because sometimes, you know, that's my intention, and then obviously when I come to glue it, I might just end up gluing it the wrong way by accident. I'll just come slightly in. Yeah, so I want to glue it down that way round this time. Let's hope that I can remember that. So again, just go all around my paper. I mean, it's cardish paper really, it's thicker than just paper. And then just pop that down. And again, you know, I kind of also focused around the paper clips, so you know, it's hopefully nicely attached. Okay, right, so this one obviously has got no colour on it. So might use the crochet lace here. Yeah, make it a lot more sort of raggedy, I think. Like that. Might even cut that top piece off. Like that. Whoops. Okay. And then, yeah, I might just be predictable and just put bling on this one instead. Honestly, where I've stopped and started the video so much, I have no idea how long this video is now. So I apologise if this is now getting really, really long. I hope it's not, but you never can tell. Okay. So I'm just going to then snip that down to a sort of vaguely resembling a tag shape. Okay, so I mean, obviously you can see they're very off center really, but you know, I'm not going to worry too much. It's, you know, it's just the way it is, to be honest. They'll have to just stay off center now. Okay, so I'm going to glue those down onto the coffee dyed paper again. Okay. Let's get my spreader. Okie dokie, and on the back as well. Okay, right. And then I'm just going to trim this out And again, I might just quickly sew this on the machine. I think it would, you know, benefit from being stitched around the edge. Okay, so I'm back finally from the sewing machine now, so hopefully I'm not going to be stopping the video again anytime soon. So I'm just going to ink around this with the vintage photo, like that. This tag quite neutral, and, you know, not kind of colour it too much. I might just pop on a bit of this brown because I do really think that looks very pretty against here. So what I'm going to do is just chop it down, and then I'm going to make it super narrow, you know, so cut off this. Actually, I'm going to, if I've got, no, I haven't got enough of that. I'm going to just chop that piece off. And just kind of attach it down the bottom because I think that really looks pretty on there. It's a really nice colour. So again, I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac there. Okay. There we go. And then just snip off that edge that's overhanging and then just trim this one down as well. Oops. Okay, so really pretty. I don't really think it needs anything else much, so I'm going to just have a look. So we could just kind of finish those butterflies off by putting a tiny bit of bling, you know, in the middle of both or each. Just yeah, I think kind of that's really all that needs. And then I have still got that flower that we nearly used earlier and didn't. So we could finish it off with a flower. Oh, maybe a flower as a tab. So let me just ink this flower. Oops, ink this flower up with the vintage photo. Yeah, I think like that. So I'm just going to literally pop some glue down on there, that one there, and then this one here. Fiddly. Hi, sweetie. I'm just doing a video, darling. I'm just doing a video, sweetheart. I'm just doing a video. That's just my son coming in from work, so obviously he couldn't hear me. Right, there we go. Yeah, I don't really think that needs anything else. I mean, I guess I could maybe put a word or something like that. Got this little word here, beauty. Let's just cut that out. Oh. Okay, so I might just quickly pop that word there. Because, you know me, it always has to be one more thing. Oh, just one more thing. Okay, right, there we go. Yay. Right, so let's pull in the pieces that we have done now during this video. And, you know, we've used up now all four of those bits of packaging. I mean, it's not really made much of a dent in my mess, but, you know, that's 4 things kind of that we've made that are now ready to go into a journal, and obviously 4 things that are now out of my stash. So, you know, my stash of rubbish. I mean, there we go. So I hope that that's given you some inspiration, and yeah, I hope that you like the finished pieces. I certainly enjoyed making them, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully see you guys again soon. Thanks then. Bye.